Nile cruise. The Egyptian president traveled to the United Arab Emirates on Sunday for a 2-day trip to attend the World Future Energy Summit and meet UAE officials. Sisi stated that the limitations of traditional energy resources necessitate using renewable sources of energy, solar and wind, with plans for renewable sources to represent 20% of the Egyptian energy production by 2020. We'll be speaking more about the renewable energy situation in terms of energy resources, more with Dr. Engineer Mohamed Helmy Helal, Chairman of the Association of Energy Efficiency Engineers. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
So at the beginning, let's describe the situation in terms of energy resources in Egypt. What would you describe it today?
Till now we are producing, we are just using less than 0.5% of renewable energy. All the rest of energy produced in Egypt is dependent on fossil fuels, gas, which is not the best way to use it, to burn it. Some coke is coming, we're planning to use 7%. And mazot.
Pardon me, the second thing is?
It's coke, the coke.
Okay.
Yeah. Till now, our use of renewable energy is very limited. Finally, the president took one of the most courageous actions to remove the subsidies of energy. That was really a huge decision to do this work. And partial removal of subsidies will allow the Egyptian government to move a little bit. We plan by 2020 to add about 4.5 giga, 4,500 megawatts for renewable energy. This will give Egypt some breath to start what we call sustainable development.
The energy subsidy that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will help in 2020 this level of energy sources in Egypt?
Definitely. The heavy subsidies for energy, the bill was about 130 billion till last year, which is something, if it could continue that way, I don't know what is the sky is the limit. And who's taking these subsidies? The rich people, actually. 80% of the subsidies goes to the rich people, not the poor people. Renewable energy, Egypt has a lot of sun. We have some wind in Suez Canal. We can use them. Another source of renewable energy is coming, the biofuel. I think Egypt is blessed. And we will see if they're coming. We have a lot of opportunities.
Exactly. That's the point. So yes. It has been decades where everybody was discussing that Egypt has the huge amount of opportunities in terms of renewable energy, namely thermal, geothermal, wind, nuclear, you name it. So we have it all. Nothing is happening in terms of the development of such renewable energy. We've seen Abu Dhabi, for example, the United Arab Emirates taking solid steps in terms of nuclear plants. We're seeing other countries taking steps in replacing, for example, Germany, if we take an example, replacing a huge amount of percentage of the energy used from the solar energy, which is amazing because we don't have as much sun as we do. But again, if we're speaking about nuclear plants and then solar plants, very few, and the potential plans for the upcoming ones are not being implemented.
Okay, let's start like this. The use of energy, which is efficiency, is the main problem of Egypt. We don't lack energy, specifically electric energy. We don't lack it. Our main problem is the efficiency of the use of our energy. If you produce a huge amount of renewable energy, which is very expensive, then misuse it. Is it logic? Even Europe is putting limits for the equipment we are using at home. Can you imagine in the forest villages of Egypt, they are using the electric heaters, 1,500, 2,000 watt. The couple
The poor people?
The very poor people, more than 80% of the poor people, they have the electric heaters.
So, Engineer Mohammed, you want to point out the fact that the misusing of the energy resources that we have in Egypt, the way that the resources are used is the reason for the crisis.
This is true. The whole electric, what we call circle, needs a lot of homework. We cannot add renewable energy before we repair our grid. We make our grid ready to receive this renewable energy. There is a lot of homework to do.
And how is this homework going to be done?
This is one of the challenges we need to talk about. I will say we have a lot of beautiful equipments, military equipments, but we don't have the maestro to organize the work between the different instruments. We need to build what we call Energy Efficiency Agency for Egypt. Only one entity. Apart from the electric ministry, a lot of people confuse and mix between the electric energy task and energy efficiency or energy.
I think the efficiency also touches upon the culture, the education. There's a lot of aspects.
Yes, huge aspects, not one or two. We have the social, the educational one. We need to start to educate our children from the schools how to use energy, what resources we have, how we use our resources in the best way.
You mean that we have to switch off lights, we have to work on not using electricity more than we have to use it. We use it only when we need to use it. If we're out of a room, we switch up the TV, we switch up the AC.
These are basics. These are basics. We need to teach our children this. But other tasks, the government take responsibility. Like in Europe, maybe you have 2 or 3 months ago, the European nations started what they call limitation of use of equipment. They are not free to put like 2, 3, 4 horsepower air conditioning at home. No, they are not free. Even the electricity over there is not subsidized. But still,
it's like a quota or a ceiling.
Because there is an economic window of production and use.
Yeah, but that's the way you are enforcing policies and rules on the citizens to abide to have, the fair usage of energy. But there is also the aspect of enforcing policies on importing devices and importing, for example, if we take a basic example like the lamps, if you see the technology that is happening in terms of the LED light and the saving lights, while Egypt is still importing, those traditional lights, the majority of the world stopped importing.
Actually, I like to give some lights on these points. We're starting a huge presidential project called President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi started, and he mentioned we are using for the moment between 200 to 300 million bulbs. And there is a plan ongoing now to change those lamps to LED lamps with a lot of subsidies. Project is using
pardon me,
LED.
Yes,
light
emission lights, yes. And these are if we're going to change all the non-efficient bulbs of Egypt and we will use this LED, we're going to save up to 4,000 mega. The whole project will cost us about between 2.5 to 3 billion pounds, but will save Egypt more than 60 billion pounds.
It's ongoing. It's a return on investment.
And the products will be in the market within 2 months.
And is this extended to factories and companies?